Hello everybody, it's me back again. Gonna do a really quick video review for Eternal Warrior. This is Volume 1, published by Valiant Comics, and it's written by Greg Pak, and art is mainly done by Trevor Hussain, with help from Clayton Crane and Diego Bernard. I've got to admit, I've never heard any of these artists before. The writer I have heard of, Greg Pak, but yeah, the art's really good actually. Yeah, you know, it was a good fantasy book. Basically, a quick summary of it is that we've got Gilad, who is the Eternal Warrior, and he has given up protecting the Earth. He has given up serving the gods, and he just wants to do his own thing. You know, he's an immortal, and he's kind of given up on life. So we've got 4 issues here. It's the first 4 issues of the second volume are collected here. And I've got to admit, I had the first 3 issues in singles, but I dropped it. Not because it was bad, because it's not. It's brilliant. I really enjoyed it. It was just, there was a lot of Marvel books coming out, and I wanted to give those a go. And this I was enjoying, but I knew I could get it in trade pretty cheap. And cheap, I did get it at £6.30 from Amazon, which was cheaper than the 3 comics I paid for. And with it, you know, it's a nicely put together book with some bonus material at the back. We've got some nice art, like single sketches and character design pictures, and we've got like a checklist of other Valiant books to check out. I know in the previous video I did ask if anybody had any other Valiant books they said I should pick up. And Ghost Critic said he's got the first 2 volumes of Exo Man of War, so I think I might give that a go. It's written by Robert Venditti, who's writing Green Lantern, and while I haven't been loving it, it's not that the writing's bad, it's just the direction of the story, which I don't really like. And I'm digressing again, which I cannot do because there's a pizza in the oven, and the pizza's going to burn. And I can't be dealing with burnt pizza after 8 hours of work when I wasn't meant to go in. Anyway, we're not here to moan about work, we're here to talk about Eternal Warrior. Alrighty, it starts in Sumerian times in ancient Mesopotamia 6,000 years ago, and there is a battle going on between Gilad's tribe, which is a tribe of the earth, and a bunch of barbarians who worship the god Nergal, I think, and he is the god of death. And you know, any god of death is automatically a villain. Boom, easy. And also when your villains, when your barbarians look like this, you pretty much know they're a villain as well. Yeah, really like the art in this book, especially in this first issue when we're back there with the barbarians and a big battle going on. Really enjoyed that bit. We are introduced to 3 main characters. We've got Gilad, who is the Eternal Warrior and the main protagonist for this story. And then we've also got Zaran and Mitu, who are his 2 children. Zaran is his daughter, and Mitu is his son. Zaran is very hot-headed and got a thing for blood, bit of a bloodlust, and she loves battle. And then we've got Mitu, who's a lot more level-headed, takes orders, and he sees the bigger picture. Gilad and Mitu are fighting in this big battle, and they've both told Zaran, no, you've got to go protect the women and children. If we fail, you're the last line of defense. And Zaran doesn't take getting kicked out of a battle too well. And the next thing you know, Gilad and Mitu and their tribe are getting their butts handed to by these steroid-pumped barbarians who worship the god of death. And the next thing you know, boom, an elephant. A giant war elephant comes in and tramples through everything. I think I've got that page loaded up. Whoa, really like that. And it's just like, what? There's an elephant? Yeah, there's an elephant. And the elephant is trampling through, and you realise who's riding the elephant? Yes, it's Zaran, who just couldn't take being told to protect the women and children. And yeah, so she wipes out the barbarians. Only she doesn't stop there. She then goes to try and kill the barbarians' wives and the barbarians' children. And that's where Zaran and Mitu come in, and they're both like, no, you can't do this. Stop. What makes us different from them is the fact that we don't do that. We don't kill the innocent people. And Zaren's a bit crazy, and she throws this spear at Mitu. Knowing that Gilad can't die, Gilad jumps in front of the spear to no avail. The spear goes straight through him and doesn't mortally wound, but does wound Mitu to the point that when Gilad is bleeding out, not dying, obviously he's an immortal, on the floor, then Zaren picks up this dying brother of hers and slashes his throat. That is not brother-sisterly love. And that's when that whole part of the story ends. And the next thing you know, we're 6,000 years in the future. We are on the plains of Africa, and Gilad is a hermit living in a hut in the middle of the savannah, it would seem, with his pet dog, who he has called Mitu. And I read that and I was a little bit weirded out that you'd call your dog after your dead son, but I don't know. I'm not 6,000 years old. Maybe that's what they do. Just gonna have a sip of water. How very refreshing. And next thing you know, his dog has gone a little bit crazy and starts attacking him. And you're a bit like, what? What's going on? And so he has to kill his dog. So that's sad. Anytime an owner has to kill their dog, always, you know, tugs at the heartstrings, even. Yeah. But he wants to know why his dog went completely crazy. The next thing you know, in the next panel, the door to his hut opens, and lo and behold, who's standing there but Zaren, his 6,000-year-old daughter. Boom, issue 1 ends. Loved issue 1. Ben BA Comics told me to pick it up, and I picked it up, and it was great. Next month, we're on issue 2. Except as I read it in trade, it was 5 minutes later. I probably got up and had a drink, went to the toilet, did something, came back to it. And it opens up in 1877 in America, Oklahoma, and that is the Americans versus the Native Americans. Native Americans versus the normal Americans. I'll call them Indians. I know they're not technically Indians, but it will get confusing if I keep saying Americans and Native Americans versus Americans and Sumerians. It will get it all a bit tongue-tied and I'll forget what I'm trying to say. So, we are introduced to another character, a character called Buck, and Buck is the sort of handler for Gilad. He is the one that relays the messages for the Earth and tells Gilad what to do. So that's that little chunk. We're introduced to the character there. And then we go back to modern times, where Zaren is trying to explain to Gilad she needs his help. But, you know, if you haven't seen your daughter for 6,000 years and the last thing you saw your daughter do was kill your son, you've probably got a few questions. And Gilad is just not very happy to see her. But she's trying to explain, please help me, the Sword of the Wild. So that's the third god we're introduced to. So we've got the god of the earth, god of death, and the god of the wild. So that's cool. They're introduced, and they are hunting Zaren for some reason. You know, she seems to have got up to some mischief in these 6,000 years. The next thing you know, we're back into Oklahoma, back in 1877. And Gilad has been told by Buck that he must go and kill these Americans who are just about to kill the Indians. But he has been told by Buck to wait. And he can't understand this. He's like, no, they're going to kill these innocent women, these innocent children. Please, let me go now. And Buck's like, no, you can't go. You've got to listen to the earth. And Gilad's like, hell with this. I'm going to go in. And there's a really cool bit where Native Americans assume that Gilad... Bloody hell. I don't know if you can hear this, but there is a massive storm going on outside. They reckon like 80-mile-an-hour wind, so maybe my house will be blown down, and this will be the last video you ever see of me. Oh, God. That would be sad, because I look rough. Not that I actually care. But anyway, back to the book. Oh yeah, I was finding that page where the Americans just assume that Gilad is a Native American, an Indian, and he's like, pretty slick naff, Indian, but you ain't getting scalped today. And Gilad's like, actually, I'm a Sumerian and I take the whole head. So I can get a bit with no glare. There we go, that's nice. Just lop off the head. If I was a 6,000-year-old immortal warrior, that's what I'd do. Because I'm crazy. I'm not really. Perfectly sane. Anyway, so he just kills all the American soldiers. And then we're back to the modern time. There's a lot of jumping about in this issue, but I don't mind. There's enough on each timeline that you're like, oh, cool, yeah. It's like just the next scene, and you're waiting to see what happens next. You just keep flicking through. Gilad does not want to help Zaran, but he is a loyal man, and he chooses family over his own, whatever, I can't think of the word, but basically he doesn't want to do it. He's not going to be selfish, he's going to help his daughter. He kills the leader of the Wild, and who, on his deathbed, states he's breaking the rules of the houses, the gods. And he said that you cannot kill the house if you have no house. That's just breaking the rules. And then the issue ends in Oklahoma again, when they Buck and Gilad realise that the whole of the tribe that these women and children were from had already been killed by the Americans, and that he has to kill these innocent women and children because that's what the Earth said. They are basically like a tumour that needs to be cut out. Another drink. I got a really dry throat. Yeah, that helped. Anyway, he says, I'm not going to kill all these innocent people. He throws his sword down and leaves. He is no longer a sword for the Earth. So in 2 issues, we've literally gone 6,000 years, and he is no longer king of Sword of the Earth. And you realise why he seems to have this inner hatred for the gods. They have ruined his life, you know. His daughter killed his son. He's been told to kill innocent people, and you know, he's a loyal man. He doesn't want to do that. Boom, issue 3 of 4. It opens up with Gilad and Zaran. They're being followed by a 4th house, the House of the Wheel. We don't really know who they are, whether they serve a god or not, but they are like messenger birds. They're robotic birds flying through the sky, following Zaran and Gilad, who are trying to hunt down Buck in the modern time, because they know that Buck will be able to tell them where the god of the Earth is. Man, I definitely missed out something. The end of issue 2 actually ends with Gilad saying, I'm going to kill the god of the Earth. Boom. That would have made more sense had I said it at the end of issue 2. Anyway, I'm not going to do retakes because, like I said, pizza in the oven, don't want to burn the pizza. So they go to a gun shop, and Zaran absolutely loves it because you can buy a crap ton of guns, and it's totally cool because you're in America. And basically, Gilad confronts Zaran about what happened 6,000 years ago, and we're filled into a bit of backstory about what happened in between then and now with Zaran. Turns out she was taken in by the god of the Wild, and she actually became a sword of the Wild. She was the leader of that. She was the leader of that house. And she did all the bidding for the god of the hunt. So she protected endangered species. She like burned down condos which are building on rainforests and all that sort of stuff. You know, it's standing up for nature. That's cool, but she was definitely doing it in a way that made her seem like a monster. At that point, Gilad's wait, you saw the god of the hunt? And she's like, yeah. And Gilad, but then she's like, oh, maybe I didn't. It was all just an illusion. And then they joke about whether or not gods are actually real. And Gilad's like, well, if the gods aren't real, I'm just going to have to kill something else. Anyway, he's just got killing on his mind. Righty. So the rest of Zaran's story is told when they finally meet up with Buck, who is being held by the House of the Wheel. We don't know what for, but that's not told, so maybe that'll be in future stories. It'll be revealed to us what Buck was doing with the House of the Wheel. And basically it was revealed that Zaran turned her back on the god of the hunt, and she slaughtered everybody in there. The whole inner circle for that house. and she runs back to Buck and starts serving the Earth again. So that was 2,000 years ago. Now they're threatening to kill Buck unless he reveals where the god of the Earth is. And it's revealed that she is in the oldest place on Earth, which is this tree. I can't remember. I didn't write it down in my notes. But it's a place, I think, if I can find it really quickly. I am running out of time because my pizza is going to burn. California, the White Mountains, the Methuselah tree. Brilliant. I just opened the book, man. That was cool. That was lucky. Somebody wants me to eat my pizza not burnt. Alrighty, and he's like, well, I'll tell you where it is, but first I'm gonna drop this massive bombshell on, and that's that your son is actually alive. Me too's alive, but guess what? He is the sword of the god of the dead. My god, we've got Gilad who serves the earth, we've got Zarin who serves the wild, and now we've got Me Too who serves the dead. That is one crazy-ass family. Issue 4, the final issue of this 4-part story, which was great. I'll show you the cover, actually, because I really like... Actually, I'll just show you that there, which is the back. So those are the four covers. This is the cover for issue 4, which I really like. It's Gilad with blood all over his face. It's a massive fight, basically, issue 4. It was a lot more of a faster-paced book than the other 3. And actually, issue 4 was the only one I didn't pick up in singles, so I really enjoyed reading this, even if it was a lot faster paced, because it was just one massive throwdown between Zarin, Gilad, against the Sword of the Earth. So they're winning. They've planted they've thrown like grenades and stuff against the tree, the Methuselah tree, and the Sword of the Earth had been killed. And then the god of the earth reveals herself. And she says, yes, Gilad, I let take your daughter. I let the dead take your son. But that's because I am the balance. I'm the balance between all these houses. So that kind of makes sense. You got the 3 main houses. I assume they are the 3 main houses. And the balance between this one family. And killing her is revealed that it'll break the balance. And underneath the tree, in the roots, there is a prison, and that prison is for Negril, the god of the dead. And it's revealed that if she dies, the roots will die, and the prison will be allowed to be open. And guess who will open that? Me Too. Me Too is the god of the dead, sword of the dead, leader of the dead army. And it will be him who unleashes hell on earth, literally. And guess what? Gilad doesn't care. He's gone there to kill a god, and that's what he's going to do. Explosions ensue. Literally, he blows up a tree. And the story ends with basically Zarin and Gilad are walking away from this, and the next thing you know, Buck pulls up in a car, and he's like, need a lift. And they'd be like, what? No, this is over. I've killed the god of the earth. And Buck's like, no, you've just started this. Like the god of the earth said, we've got 2,000 years to prepare for Negril's return. What are we going to do? I loved this book. I really, really, if you like fantasy, if you like killing, if you like barbarians, if you like just actually a surprising amount of character development, considering this book is about a 6,000-year-old immortal warrior who goes around killing gods. There's a surprising amount of character development, and you care about the characters. I actually got really interested in Zarin, because in issue 1 and 2, I was really like, no, you can't kill Me Too. Me Too's cool. And you can't break Zarin's heart because I like Gilad's heart because I like Gilad. But I even care about her at the end of it. At the back of the book, there is the cover for the 2nd volume, which is not yet out. I think it's only on issue 6. I assume it'll be another 4-part story. So that when that comes out, I'll be picking it up. The art by Trevor Hussain is good. I really enjoy it. It's quite dark, but it fits the style of the book. And the fill-in artists who do the flashbacks and the bits with the gods, that it works, and it's a really nice art team. So if you like good character development and you like fights, pick this book up. It's very cheap on Amazon. and there is really no reason not to pick it up. Really good book. So that's my first trade review, and my pizza's going to be burnt. Not really very much so, but I do like it a bit crispy, so I'm going to show you what I'm reading at the moment. Boom, a hardback. Isn't this cool? Peter Panzerfaust, Deluxe Edition Volume 1 by Curtis J. Veeb and Tyler Jenkins on art. DaCosta DC, he reads this and he rates it really highly. This is a nice big chunky book. Again, I got it for cheap on Amazon. Not like real cheap, but it was on discount. I can't wait to read this. I've only heard good things about Peter Panzerfaust. And when I finish reading this, I will bring you another review. But that is all for today and all for this weekend. I don't have anything else to say other than if you like this video, click like. If you want to see more, subscribe. And as always, please put comments down below. Like I said before in my previous videos, I've now got a Twitter account. I'll put the link of that in my description. And of course, you can add me on Facebook. That would be cool. I don't mind talking comics on Facebook. Thank you all for your support on these first 2 videos I've done. It really means a lot. It's not easy, this. It looks easy. It's not. And you do put a surprising amount of time in, you know, cutting this video up, putting it up on Facebook, YouTube, and waiting sometimes, what was it yesterday, about 6 hours for my video to go up. I've got to get a compression program, compress my files down. But anyway, you don't want to hear about that. I just wish you all the best weekend ever. Hopefully I'll survive the storm. I'm going to go watch some Winter Olympics and eat some pizza. Toodles!